is Michael Neighbors. I am the pastor of Second Baptist Church of Evanston. I am grateful for the opportunity to be able to share with you this afternoon. Grateful for the wonderful words that we have heard from the previous speakers. Grateful for the prayer and the invitation to be blessed by Iman Ibrahim. I'm also grateful to be given this brief time to share with you all on this lovely Saturday afternoon at the prayer vigil for Palestine here at the Muslim Community Center. In late October and early November 2019, I visited Israel and Palestine for a 10-day interfaith immersion experience. As an African American born and bred in this land of unequal opportunity and egregious inequities in every sector, education, housing, employment, economic development, business enterprises, caused by racism and later sexism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, Asianphobia, and Islamophobia, it occurred to me that all of these experiences are not individual misfortunes. Rather, they are a combined, collective, and monstrous array of malevolent injustices. They are intended to allow the wealthy and dominant to maintain control, hoard the earth's resources, and to inflict damage upon any and all who challenge them. There is a hidden force that goes against the grain of our shared humanity, and this force utilizes the weapons of hatred, bigotry, bias, discrimination, and lack of tolerance. This force is historical and deeply rooted in bearing responsibility for inequities across the globe. Historically, the world has created the Greek civilization, the Roman Empire, the British Empire, and now the American Empire, which were all responsible for major damages against innocent men and women in towns and villages. These empires had at least two things in common: to rule through power and to usurp the resources of lands and people that were conquered through militarism. The present nefarious division of the world's resources is a direct result of beguiling human avarice and hubris. Let me say that another way. The reason why there are rich and poor countries is because of the sins of greed and pride. Let me make this as clear as I can. God did not equip one group, one ethnicity, or one race to be ipso facto superior to every other race. God did not hand select one country and bathe it in the waters of manifest destiny. God did not blow the breath of divine intervention upon one religion or one faith any more than God blew that same breath of divine intervention on all religions and all faiths. The ancient text used by Christians formulates this reality, and God formed humans from the dust of the earth and breathed into their nostrils the breath of life. A New Testament text says, with just one blood God made all nations to dwell on the face of the earth. Now, of course, African Americans and all of those out of the African diaspora are well aware that while these words are recorded in Holy Scripture, they have not been realized in human community. For over 400 years, Black people suffered the brutality of the vicious institution of human slavery and its aftermath. Any gains that we have made, any acknowledgement of human and civil rights and our protection, rose through vigorous debate, dialogue, protests, marches, demonstrations, and rallies like this one this afternoon in Morton Grove. We lost thousands through lynching. We lost hundreds through violent acts of racism. We have lost hundreds more through structural sins of law enforcement, the judicial system, the legislative system, and even the executive branch of our government. Whole towns were founded by Blacks but were burned to the ground in Oklahoma and Florida. Businesses were destroyed, homes were burned down, churches were set on fire, families were forcibly separated from one another. But I'm here on this 29th day of May, on this Memorial Day weekend, to share with our Palestinian brothers and sisters that we may have been pressed on every side, but we were not crushed. We may have been persecuted, but we have not been driven to despair. We may have been struck down, but we are not destroyed. And as a people, we are learning to stand with other groups of people suffering. We are learning to stand with people and to speak out on behalf of victims who are dying, whose homes are being burned, whose businesses are being destroyed, whose mosques and communities are being bombed, whose personhood and human dignity are being suppressed. For we have learned that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The moral arc of the universe is long, but it always bends towards justice. And we are all inescapably caught in a mutual interweb dependence of human kinship and brotherhood and sisterhood. And so, let me say in conclusion, let there not only be a ceasefire, but let there be the birth of a brand new day, so that on the hilltops of Sinai and Masada, as well as on the hilltops of Ramallah and Rawabi, a sweet refrain will be heard echoing through the land. Let freedom ring for all God's people, and that is Palestinian people as well. Thank you so much.